Hi guys, I know this is very different from the format I usually do, but I promised a long time ago when I made that first Subnautica big video that I would tell you, or rather show you a tutorial on how I make these cards. So that's what this is. This is gonna be the first video that I just take one long cut and then cut out what I don't want from it. So we'll see how that works out. If I end up liking this, maybe I'll do that more often, but I don't know. It just makes easier. It just makes recording easier when I have a set line in front of me and then just say it, cut, next line. But you know, it's whatever. Either way, let's get to the card. If I have a card art that can fill out a borderless card, like some from top to down, then I do a borderless one. Specifically, I do borderless alt art because I think, at least from what I can tell, the difference is the bottom part isn't tinted a specific color. So this is what borderless alt 2 looks like. And I would use that if I was using a card specifically, like let's say the art that I used for Simic Growth Chamber. If I want to drag and drop something, and I can just click auto fit, boom. It's the art for Simic Growth Chamber. I can change that how I want, either manually or by typing it, by doing up and down on these values, or typing in what I want. I always start with auto fit and then just work from there because the AI normally knows where you would want to put it, but sometimes, you know, it does its best. But let's say I instead have a different art that's a little bit more in a sort of landscape position where it wouldn't really work to make it full art. For an example, if I grab the art for the Sea Dragon and drag it in here. Now that looks kind of cool, but it doesn't really work with showing off everything the Sea Dragon's about. Or rather, it doesn't really work showing off the Sea Dragon's full body. You can see a part of it, and it's in really cool detail. I'll give it that. Like, this is not bad by any means, but it's not really what I would want for the card. So instead, when I have a card art like that, I'm going to change it from borderless to extended. Because I still want to see as much of the art as I can, so I never really go within border. But I do Universes Beyond, because, you know, that's what this is. So you're going to have to take the frame out and then put in a new frame. And then when I want to make a half frame, I'll click another one, and then you click, where is it? Add it to the right half of the card. So now I made this Simic. Now, I do know one thing for Simic. I think it's green, then blue, so I made it reversed, but don't worry about that. Yeah, so whenever I want to put in a rare symbol, especially for cards like this, I'll do the same thing where I add one to one side, or one to the full part and then the other to the right half to make the rare symbol also cut the color like that. And recently, because I've realized that I left out the legendary crowns on a lot of them, I've been putting them in retroactively. When it comes to putting legendary crowns on extended arts, a lot of them look kind of clunky, and the one I actually ended up going with is the etched crown, because for some reason that looks more natural. So if I put that on there, and then the right half, that looks a lot better, and then we would add a nickname to the whole card, and then once again, add the other half, the nickname, to the right half. And boom, there you go. You got the basic outline and border for the card. Now you would go to the text, you would put in its mana cost. It has simple syntax and an explanation for it. Actually, I think, here we go. Here's where you can find all the code to explain this card creator to you. But to give you a basic rundown myself, to put down any symbols like mana symbols or mana costs, I'll do like 2, green, and blue is U, because I don't know. Like that, or if you want to do let's say a split mana cost, you can put both the letters in the same thing. And in fact, when it comes to mana cost itself, I think it just lets you just type them out normally. But if I were to do that, let's say in the rules text, it's just going to show those actual letters because you have to use specific, because of course they'll let you shortcut it for the mana cost, but when it comes to the rules text, anything could be there. So how do you have to tap, add, that should be a G. You can add red or green, and tap is of course the brackets T. So yeah. And then when you want to add flavor, you put in bracket flavor. And then type whatever you want. Oh, there's got to be words before that. Yep, you can see that. And you can change font size. It explains everything down here. I think me going through this just kind of doesn't serve really any purpose. I'll tell you this much. You can use this app on your phone, but if you start typing beyond what the text box will fit in, it will crash the app and the page will reload. The way you can avoid that is by preemptively changing the font size like this. And you would put like 9 PT, and now everything you type from this point is going to be 9. You can change that. See, like if I do 10, it gets bigger. If I do 14, it gets a lot bigger. And if you make sure that it'll fit while you're in the mobile app, then it won't crash. In the computer one, it'll just keep letting you type. It'll try to adjust for it as best it can. But it won't crash on you. You can keep messing around with it. And then of course you put the nickname and then the regular title. And it'll show the nickname up top and the regular title below, as it would for any nickname. You can put the art in here. You can put the set symbol in here. I made the set symbol, of course, the peeper, and I made that one myself. You might have to find the same way that I did it. If you guys want, I can just drop it in the master sheet, if anyone really wants to go hard on recreating these. But in that case, if you're going to use pretty much all the same assets I would just copy the cards themselves and just print them. Speaking of which, that's the next part we're going to get to. So, after you've done all this, you're then going to, of course, have to make sure that your collector information is displayed. This one doesn't currently have it. Now I've enabled it. You have to give it a rarity. Sometimes, for a lot of the cards, it's state of promo, but for the newer ones I'm making, I'm choosing either rare or mythic. You can add a note, and you can add... I've actually never used a note. 1 second. Oh, that's cool. So that's what a note looks like. And then you have to give credit to the artist. I always want to give credit to the artist if at all possible, if it's not just a screenshot from in-game or promotional material that was never credited. Always go out of your way if you can to give credit to the artist, because they do the majority of the work here. And in fact, I really like this app because it won't let you export unless you credit someone. Granted, you can put in anything or just get it wrong, but it will not let you export this without giving credit to someone for the art, and I love that. It is amazing. Okay. All right, so next I'm going to show you how to lay out the cards on a page. And for that, I have the proxy sheet, the proxy master sheet, as an example. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to move the margins out a little bit to make sure that all your cards are going to fit onto one page 9x9, or rather 3x3 to make it a total of 9. And then when you change, you're going to want to right-click your image when you import it in here and click. You're going to want to right-click your image when you import it into a Google Doc and click image options and then go to size and rotation. Keep the locked aspect ratio on and then just put the width as 2.48. That should give you nearly the exact dimensions you need to overlay it with a proper magic card. Yeah. After doing that, you should all be good and you should have a 3x3 sheet of cards like this that you can print out onto a piece of paper. Specifically the paper that now you can do any sticker paper if you want to just print these cards out and just have them. I really like foils. I think foils look gorgeous, and specifically I like when I make them because mine don't curl, wizards. And the paper that I use for that is Blydruck printable vinyl. Here, I'll put it in front of the screen and then I'll read it. Blydruck printable vinyl sticker paper pet stickers. It's 8.5 times 11. And I chose the rainbow foil because, you know, I think that looks sick over the other options at least. And I'm going to go print out a page that I've been working on for a little bit and then cut to the process that I do when I cut those out and overlay them on top of cards. And if for any reason you don't really like how I've been explaining some of this stuff or want a more in-depth discussion, they have a tutorial on the app that I just noticed. So this video doesn't need to exist, but if you want to hear me yap about it, then of course, have fun doing that. But they have their own tutorial if you want to take a look at that. I haven't watched it myself, but I'm sure the guys who were smart enough to make this app went in depth enough to give you a good understanding of how it works. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next part where I'm printing these out and cutting them. Hi guys. I'm going to be showing you how I cut out and apply these cards, rather the proxies. So this is what a completed sheet will look like. This is how the foiling comes out. I really like it. You can be your own judge, but I personally am a very big fan. We got a little rat token for my girlfriend's infect deck, but the rest are for the updated deck. I'm cutting Nature's, not Nature's Lore, what is it? Sky Shroud Claim for Aftermath Analyst as Bart. One, because I like the flavor, and two, just because every time I look at my graveyard, I'm like, man, I wish I had Lumra, and I'm like, look, it's tiny Lumra. But yeah, I'm gonna see how that works out. If not, I'll swap them back, and you know, no harm done. But for a lot of the cards, I'm adding the legendary crowns and the set symbol. And there's two other changes where I'm putting in a Rejuvenating Springs because I just need more 1 turn untapped green, and I'm putting in Deadly Rollick because, well, sometimes you just can't go back. And yeah, I'm swapping that out from what is it called? The other 4 mana exile spell. I can't remember it. Either way, you'll see when the video comes up. I'll put an image of it. I'm swapping it out. I'm keeping both the same flavor text and the same art, just changing what card it is, which I've done that for a few cards. But either way, we're gonna just get started. So I have my paper cutter here. You can use any paper cutter. I recommend using one that, of course, you're able to slide it under like this, or just have some way to control the edge so that you're getting a proper cut. I'm really meticulous about this, so this is probably going to be sped up a little bit. And I always want to make sure I get as close to the actual outline as possible. All right, and I cut it a little bit farther than I needed to, which is perfect because you can always cut more, you can't cut less. So I'm going to push this forward. All right. Still a little too little, but only on the bottom part. All right, let's just... You can see how meticulous I get about it, because that's how much I cut off. I don't even know if the camera can pick up how small this is, but yeah. I want to make sure I get as close as I can. I'm going to create a little pile for these over here. So we're going to move this down. Oop, there's a little bit there. You got to make sure there's no bits left on the blade because that can cause it to fold the paper, which makes you have to throw out the whole sheet unless you like warped proxies, which definitely irk me and I can never deal with it. So I just throw out the sheet. Uh-oh, don't like that. Good amount of this will probably just be cut in post, at least the dialogue. Yeah, that's fine. That was a little bit more sloppy, but that's just because I want to get that sheet on its own, so now I don't have to deal with this paper. I want to make sure there's no hair left on it from the cat or otherwise. Alrighty then. Not enough. Let's move that up just a little. Move it back. I think that's... Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right on the money. Alright. Let's move these cards over here. Move these scraps over here. I will slide the card in like this. You can see there's a little bit of where the where I've cut before. This is all ink that's kind of rubbed off from the card. That's going to happen no matter what you do using this type of paper. I don't know if there's a better option that I'm unaware of, but these cards, something to make very important note of is this type of paper will take your fingerprint like that and it will not go away. You will have permanently altered the card. So I'm very meticulous about not putting my finger down on this paper because that's just, that fingerprint will be there forever. But once you sleeve it, of course, you're in the clear. So you want to be careful up until that point. Let's move this like that. gorgeous. You can barely see any of the color on the edge there, which is exactly what you want. You want to see just some, but like only enough to know that you hit right on the edge. Beautiful. Let's cut off this little sliver on the side while I'm here. I think that's good. Oh, see, it's sticking to the thing. There you go. You gotta pull that off. That can be a bad day if you end up cutting with that still on. Did that even cut anything? No. Am I being too meticulous? Do I not need to worry about this? Nope, I want it gone. There we go. Pull that little bit off there. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, so we're gonna save those over there. And we're gonna work on Bart. So normally I use basic lands for these. I just opened a Tarkir bundle and I have a bunch of commons here. And I figured I'd just use those because it's gonna take a while for me to root around my basics to find some that are in good condition and not a little too bent. So what I do is I have a corner cutter here. This is one I got from Michael's. It's a crocodile corner chomper. I will say, when you cut the corners like this, it makes them look like older cards. I'm fine with it because it makes the stickers overlay a little bit better. But I'll be perfectly candid, if I had one that made them more similar to regular Magic cards, I'd prefer that. But I take what I can get, you know what I mean? So I cut at the 1/4 inch mark because that's the closest I could get using this. So I just fold it in there. I cut the corner and there it is. And then there's the little piece that got cut off the card. I'll just put that over there. And then I will cut the rest of the corners. And then before they build up too much, you want to just try to get them all out of there. All right, then we have Bart. So with this, you have two options. You can either put it face down and hold it against the card, or hold it against the corner cutter. I don't like doing that. I like to hold it face up and try to just use the corners because I don't want it to scratch. Then we've got, sorry if you can hear any background noise. Hey, sorry about that. I had to go close the door. Okay, so we were cutting the corners. I actually screwed this one up a little bit. Let's see if I can fix that. Well, that one's not the end of the world. We will see if I can get the other corners just right. That's what it should look like. That one has a little bit of a nick, but yeah, I'll try to just block it out. My brain might let me, or I might redo this one. That corner looks good. That corner looks good. All right, if all the other corners are fine, then I'm fine. Yeah, the only thing is you don't want to let too many of those build up in the corner cutter because this thing will jam. Okay, so now that we have our cutout card and our cutout proxy top, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're gonna lay it flat. And then we are gonna try to lift up this corner flap here. These are similar to stickers. So they have a sticker back. So what I do is I fold a flap like this. Let's move that here. And then I take the card, I take this and I line it up on all the other corners. And then specifically, I'll normally take the last flap that I used for this, but since I don't have that, I'm gonna use another card. Am I gonna use another card? Yeah, I think I will. To hold down that corner. And then I pull out the back from here. And then we lay everything down flat on top. And there you go. That's how you make one of the proxies. So you can see the front's got this nice little foil. And the back is a magic card. You can still see some of it crease out, but normally you're gonna be playing with these in a sleeve, it's fine. So now that we have our first one though, we're gonna take this, we're gonna fold it like this. And from now on, whenever I want to mess with a proxy, I'm gonna take the smooth edge of this, I'm gonna touch it on here because I've noticed that leaves almost no smudge. So that's really nice. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab the deck box over here, and I'm going to replace that card. If you guys can see, this is the whole deck. There are some spoilers in here for episodes or shorts I haven't done yet. Here's the card that's coming out. Might as well show you here since it's not going to be a card that sticks in the deck officially unless I end up putting back in. Sky Shroud Claim. I made it about the lantern fruit, and I made the quote, "I bet they feel like water balloons and taste like mango. Mmm, mango." The quote from my hungry ass, because like all of us wanted to try that at least at one point, right? Is it just me? Please don't tell me it's just me. This is a little sad because this has more synergy with Glarb because it's 4 costs, so you can cast it off the top, but getting 2 lands versus getting every land back from my graveyard, even if this costs 2 more mana, it doesn't compare. Most of the time, it doesn't compare. Oh, looks like... Is that on the inside? There's something on the sleeve. Or in this? On this? On it. Okay.